What's up? So this story broke between last night and this morning, and I just want to say at the outset of this video that I do not feel a shred of sympathy for this guy. Now you might find that that's callous, but to be quite honest with you, these people treated you with utter disdain for the last couple of years and pushed for your rights, freedoms and civil liberties to be taken away. Now I don't take those type of things lightly. Maybe you are someone that does, but I certainly don't. And what I want to explain to you also is that the media emotionally manipulate you into thinking that eulogising and congratulating this guy for what he did is the right thing to do. I disagree. I think you need to call out bad actors when they are acting badly. So what I'm going to do throughout this video is I'm going to show you the tweets that this guy made, because you will hear about this, whether it be in the news or whether it be flicking through social media, and you'll go, poor old fella, look what happened to him. But let's look at the circumstances here. He had a case of the suddenlies, as you can see here up above. He was tweeting up until, the hour before this happened? That's very strange, isn't it? Yet no media outlet has covered that at all. They're not asking questions with regards to that. It's strange how these cases of suddenlies and these exorbitant cases now of cancer, for example, have gone through the roof, and yet nobody is talking about that whatsoever. It's really weird, isn't it? And I'm sure that there's an awful lot of people in the media right now that bought into it and are now looking over their shoulders going, I hope this isn't me. I know that people on Twitter certainly do that type of stuff all of the time when a situation occurs and people go, was it this stuff that was given out over the last couple of years by companies with sketchy pasts and criminal histories? And these people go, no, couldn't be that whatsoever. You're a conspiracy theorist. Okay, right. Well, if you knew a dodgy car dealer and you bought a dodgy car off the dodgy car dealer, would you be then thinking, yeah, the dodgy car dealer is at fault there? Would you say that at all, or would you just say, no, you're no mechanic? Would that be what you'd do? Oh, stop. Anyway, we'll go into this story here and we'll keep going. At the weekend, the well-known reporter who spent most of his career with the Irish the Irish Times, has been remembered as a storyteller. I'm sure he is. I'm sure he was. And a gentleman. Now again, this is what they do. What they do is they want to set you up and say to you, this is a nice fella, and to speak ill of him, like, that's such a negative thing to do. No, it's not. You have to tell the truth. And I keep telling people to keep telling the truth. Tributes paid after death of popular journalist and proud Kerryman Michael O'Regan. Now suddenly in the headline there, that's quite an unusual thing, isn't it? Because usually they like to tell you these things. Tributes as outstanding journalist, raconteur and man of integrity Michael O'Regan dies. And the same old picture there of him there with the Kerry flag and the Sam Maguire there. That is a Gaelic football trophy for anybody that's watching here from outside of this country. So let's have a look now at what this fella was saying online. And what I've done is I have actually bookmarked his tweets here. And I think that these things are super interesting given what was going on for the last couple of years, and linking them in here to what has happened to this guy. So he says, unvoldemorted people infecting their own loved ones. Virgin Media News. So this is November 16th 2021, so it's lovely that they have these dates up as well. Let's have zero tolerance. This is October 14th 2021. Let's have zero tolerance of those refusing Voldemort. Irrespective of their profile, sporting or otherwise, the prospect of ongoing restrictions casting a dark shadow. So this fella was used as a mouthpiece as well too, as you can quite clearly see over the last few years. Let's see what else he was saying. February 28, 2021. Now these aren't in chronological order, unfortunately. That's just the way they were bookmarked, so my apologies with regards to that there if you're looking at it and going, dates are jumping around here. But I think the message is still important. Never thought I would be saying this, but I am. Ban all anti-lockdown marches. Well, interesting that one. I don't think he said anything about BLM though. The BLM marches could carry on, but when it came to this, he was furious about that. Something else, isn't it? Gardaí alone must be protected from attack or worse. We are at war with a killer pandemic. How's that worked out? In a queue in a pharmacy earlier. Man, not young, in front of me. The only one not wearing a mask. I don't get it. I didn't understand and still don't understand the bedwetters from those years. Michael O'Regan then from December 14, 2022. Anti-mask people, go away. Spare me your vitriol. You will be blocked. So anybody that's a dissenter, anybody that has questions about what the narrative was, I don't want to know. That's some journalist and storyteller and raconteur, isn't it there, guys? When he doesn't want to know. Fascinating, that one, isn't it? Michael O'Regan here from November 16th, 2021. What is so complex about being asked for a cert, a Voldemort cert, where several people gather? So remember that. Show me your papers there. Show me your medical papers there. But the border to the country is wide open. That's wide open. Don't worry about that there, guys. And we've got an awful lot of people that have come into the country, and a lot of people have decided to move on from the narrative of show me the papers to welcome everybody and anybody into the country. No problem at all. Something else, isn't it? I produced mine in a coffee shop the other day. This is another thing, the little fake virtue that these people like to give out to people. Oh, look at me. I'm part of the group. I am there. Fool. All over quickly. Certainly is, Michael. In the summer, I was rightly sent to an outdoor section by a very pleasant waitress when I had forgotten mine. Well done there. You know, nothing dog comes to mind here. Being patted on the head. I took the stuff there, guys, but because I don't have the cert, I'm being sat outside in the cold. Something else. Absolutely something else, isn't it? So anyway, let's keep going. February 27, 2021. Can you credit this? Reckless thugs. So what happened here was a large guarded presence for anti-lockdown demonstration in St. Stephen's Green. And everybody that was there, men, women and children, he's calling reckless thugs. Interesting that, isn't it? He then responded to a tweet there, and he said thuggery in the social sense opposing COVID rules. How dare people have reasonable doubt when it comes to the government telling them things? And the government were up to all sorts there, the likes of Golfgate there, you had Leo Varadkar as well too, hanging around the park. Do you remember that one there? Do you remember those situations that these people told you? It was super duper serious, the sniffles was a big problem it was. Do you remember you had to buy a pint and a meal to make it €9, and the sniffles knew that once you had paid that €9, you were exempt from getting the sniffles. Do you remember as well too when you used to stick this face cloth onto your face, and if you were standing up, the sniffles knew, I can't go near you, but if you were sitting down and took the face cloth off, then you were alright. Do you remember that one? Do you remember that scam? This is the type of stuff that this guy was perpetuating. Then he goes on and says, October 6, 2020, the elephant in the corona room is that some people are not following the rules and that draconian legislation may be required to give Gardaí extra powers. Do you remember as well too the Gardaí? I covered it here on this channel. I remember the Gardaí busting into masses, Catholic masses here in Ireland, and they were stopping people as well too from attending mass. Do you remember that one there? Do you remember then when people couldn't go to the funeral of a loved one? Do you remember that one there where it was only about 6 people that were allowed at that? Do you remember that one? I certainly do. Do you remember when people couldn't go in and visit loved ones in hospital? Do you remember that? I certainly do. Yet these people think that this stuff was it's willy-nilly. And then you want to say to me then that I should feel sorry for this guy? Don't think so. Draconian legislation may be required. These people were all in on it, in my humble opinion, allegedly, respectfully. Now, I think it's very strange that you choose that wording and then that's the way it went. Something to be said about that, I think. Otherwise, we move to a level that will imprison people and destroy the economy and jobs. Well, you were right about one thing there, Michael, because that's actually what happened. Michael O'Regan then goes on and says, where are we going with this scam? Surely he didn't actually say scam for anyone that's listening to this. He said about the bear bug, Surely we have enough cop on to take reasonable precautions. So this is who this guy was. And I just want to remind people about that. When you see the media eulogising a person like this and telling you, oh, you should totally feel sorry for this person, my humble opinion is you look at things like this and you go, no. Because as far as I'm concerned, and I'll take this as seriously as I did over the last few years, and I still do, 2 years of my life were stolen because of bedwetters like this guy, and people that were supposed to be journalists, that are supposed to have integrity to call out what was going on, with how partial it became. People like me have come onto YouTube, myself included, obviously I'm speaking about myself here, to come on and talk about what's going on. That's how bad the media got. Now, an awful lot of people, and I have to say thank you very much to everybody that sends kind words this channel's way, and they say thanks very much, keep telling the truth and keep up the good fight. I appreciate that wholeheartedly, but I shouldn't have had to do that. In a functioning society, if this wasn't an absolute joke shop of a country, because currently we've no borders, we have an out of control regime here in this country with a government that absolutely do not care about you, that are pushing things that they don't want to look at and they don't want to go back and go, yeah, we got that one wrong. What are they doing right now? Oh, that's right, they're taking a no blame approach to what happened over these years. Now, on another note, because let's just play the game here, on another note, how many of these things did this guy take, and was that a causation of what happened to him? Now, it might or might not be, but I think it's very interesting that he's had a case of the Suddenlies now and was saying all these types of things on Twitter. I think there's a bit of a linkage there, is there not? Or maybe it's just the climate change. It could be that. Like these days, we're being told that you can fix climate change by paying more taxes. The same people that can fix potholes in the road, though, by the way, are the same people that are telling you that they can totally fix the weather. Interesting, that one. I wonder how they're going to do that. Anyway, going back to this here. This is why I don't feel sympathy. Okay, and to be fair to me, when it comes to these things, over the last few years, I don't feel any sympathy. And actually, as a matter of fact, I love the people that are closest to me the most. I do, and the people then that have come into my life as well, that have seen through what's going on. Those people get an awful lot of love from me. But the people that wanted my rights, freedoms, and civil liberties taken off me for the last couple of years over the flu, you don't do it for me anymore. And to be honest with you, I see it as you should be saying, which is a complete and total enemy. And that's how I see guys like this. And you might think that that is harsh, you might think that that is callous, but I certainly hope by the end of this video you may actually feel the same way that I do and understand that the media dislike you intensely. They haven't once questioned what's going on here. They haven't once put any of these people in politics on the spot. There's one outlet that's doing that currently, and even at that I would ask for an awful lot more with regards to that. But the mainstream media haven't done it. None of them. So I see them as exactly as they are, and you should too. So no sympathy coming from me. I'm living my life, I'm having a good time. I hope you're having a great time too. And I certainly hope that an awful lot of people that engaged in this sort of stuff over the last few years are held accountable. And they must be. Anyway, let me know what you think down below. Make sure you like, make sure you share this video as well. That's super important to let people know what's going on. And make sure you subscribe to the channel. That's always appreciated, and it helps the channel and it boosts everything that happens with regards to keeping the truth moving along, and for you to keep hearing the truth and for me to keep telling the truth. Good luck.